talking about? We're talking about spiders, and we're talking about pervitin, and we're talking about Bigfoot. I'm here to tell you where he's been. They call me Mr. Gulley. I'm here to save the day. They call me Mr. Gulley, and I'm gonna lead the way. They call me Mr. Gulley. I'm here to save the day. They call me Mr. Gulley, and I'm gonna lead the way. Here we go now. I'm talking about Mr. Gulley, and you don't know where he's been. Oh no, he's been right in your alley. Well, I'm Mr. Gulley, yes I am. So what we talking about? We're talking about spiders, and we're talking about pervitin, and we're talking about Bigfoot. I'm here to tell you where he's been. They call me Mr. Gulley. I'm here to save the day. They call me Mr. Gulley, and I'm gonna lead the way. They call me Mr. Gulley. I'm here to save the day. They call me Mr. Gulley, and I'm gonna lead the way. One, two, three, four. They call me Mr. Gulley. I've got something for your ear. Now it might sound kind of funny, but I'll make it very clear. So what we talking about? We're talking about spiders, and we're talking about pervitin, and we're talking about Bigfoot. I'm here to tell you where he's been. They call me Mr. Gulley. I'm here to save the day. They call me Mr. Gulley, and I'm gonna lead the way. They call me Mr. Gulley. I'm here to save the day. They call me Mr. Gulley, and I'm gonna lead the way. Here we go now. I'm talking about Mr. Gulley, and you don't know where he's been. Oh no, he's been right in your alley. Well, I'm Mr. Gulley, yes I am. So what we talking about? We're talking about spiders, and we're talking about pervitin, and we're talking about Bigfoot. I'm here to tell you where he's been. They call me Mr. Gulley. I'm here to save the day. They call me Mr. Gulley, and I'm gonna lead the way. They call me Mr. Gulley. I'm here to save the day. They call me Mr. Gulley, and I'm gonna lead the way.
Hey everybody, what's going on? What's hot? What's hip? What's happening? What is shaking on your Friday night? Gosh, we love these Friday night shows. Tonight, let me tell you about pretzels. That's right, you see some of them back there. Pretzels. Who doesn't love pretzels? Especially Dot's pretzels. Oh my gosh, they're so good. Hey, I'd like to thank StreamYard right out of the gate for telling me that apparently this stream has been deleted on the Tom Gulley Show Facebook page because, I do that. Thank you, StreamYard. Thank you. Is there anything I can do for you? Anyway, please like, please share, please subscribe, please retweet, please notification bell, please those likes. We really need them. Just a click is all it costs. Absolutely free to you. We do have super chats. We do have memberships. Of course, we like it when you take advantage of those because they help us pay the bills around here. And then if you'll look in what we call the begging bar, well, we don't call it that. I call it that, the royal we. At the bottom of the screen, it'll tell you how to turn on those gifted memberships so you can unlock that members-only exclusive content you so desperately crave and you so righteously deserve. And also, I should tell you that this Sunday's members-only show, we're going to go in such detail into the career of our guest Wednesday night, our very special guest star. There she is, Ms. Ruta Lee, star of stage and screen, movie and TV, who will be with us on Wednesday night. I won't have nearly the time necessary to go into her entire career, but I will on Sunday. So we will do a deep, deep dive on that. If you're a member, you'll get to see that and see me gushing like a fanboy, which I refuse to do when Ms. Lee is on the program with us Wednesday night. Actually, that's probably all I'll do. That's probably 100% of what I'll do on Wednesday night. So be here for that. I cannot wait. Cannot wait. We do have a few comments to get to before I launch into tonight's subject. Funky Bronco says, can't wait for the show today. I know the show today will be a good one for once. I'm, of course, very polite. I thanked him. Tyler Schollenberger is here. He's here from the Quad Cities. He says, wow, a new show open. I'm going to have to go back and watch the George Carlin and Richard Pryor episode, too. Yes, those did kind of well. The Richard Pryor one just keeps kind of getting views and views and views. It's in little increments. We're doing the best we can. Good to see you, Tyler. And Goober is here, and he says, who's hungry? Yummy, yummy. Before we get into the topic, I should mention, because I won't talk about it during the topic, but it is worth mentioning. Man, have you had the Dots Pretzels? Have you had the Dots Pretzels? If you haven't had the Dots Pretzels, you just simply haven't had pretzels. I recommend getting the original style first. They are incredible. They are absolutely incredible. So look into it, would you? That's just a little tip from me to you. The Dots Pretzels. Oh my goodness. If you're a fan of the pretzel, that's where you need to be. That's really where you need to be. You know, the pretzel, there we go. Thanks, StreamYard. The pretzel is a type of baked pastry. Yes, it's a pastry made from dough that is commonly shaped into a knot. Okay? And the pretzel's shape is very distinctive. It's symmetrical. The long ends are folded back on the, you know how it's shaped in a particular way. That's called a pretzel loop or a pretzel bow. Now, today's pretzels, today's modern pretzels, I'm sure you've seen them in stores. They come in various shapes and textures and colors. But the original pretzel was the soft pretzel. Not the crunchy kind. The soft one was the original one. And that remains one of the more common pretzel types. I'd say that's a high-end pretzel myself. I mean, I love them just like everybody else, but there's reasons they're a little more high-end. I'll get to that in just a second. Here's a couple interesting things. As you know, salt is probably the most common seasoning or topping for a pretzel. But if you look at these pretzels here on screen, you see that they're all browned slightly, and they have that sort of varnished. They almost look like there's a finish on them. And that's not by accident. That is done by submerging the dough in washing soda or a lye treatment that gives the pretzels their traditional skin and flavor. And that is acquired through something called the Maillard reaction. The Maillard reaction, and that's common in baking. It's not just for pretzels. Certain biscuits and breads and other things, not, even steaks and fried dumplings use this. And that's what gives it that. It's not a burnt flavor, but it's that sort of mature, crusty kind of flavor that's absolutely addictive. And I would eat just that, frankly, But other toppings that are used for pretzels are mustard, cheese, sugar, chocolate, cinnamon, sweet glazing. As you can see here, some of them even have seeds and nuts on them. Soft pretzels should be eaten shortly after preparations have completed. And hard-baked pretzels have a very, very long shelf life, which is why most people have them around the house as snacks, as you don't have to blow through them real quick. Now, there are a ton, and I mean a ton, of accounts regarding the origin of pretzels, because who wouldn't want to take advantage of that? Now, check this out. This is a 12th century painting of a pretzel. It's there in that sort of bowl in the front, and you can see one of them, see it curled up just to the right of the bowl? Yeah, that's Queen Esther and King Ahasuerus. Yeah, I'm sure you recognize them from your schoolwork. Most of them have Christian backgrounds, these origin of pretzels stories, and most of them indicate that pretzels were invented by European monks. According to some scholars, the most popular story is that the pretzel was made in 610 AD, way back then, way back 1900 years ago, by an Italian monk, when he decided to make a special treat to help motivate his students to keep on learning. He rolled out a few strips of dough and crossed them, trying to resemble, and many people know this about pretzels, they are supposed to resemble two hands praying, okay? And after he baked them, the pretzel was born. After they were done baking, he handed them out to students and said, "Pretiola," which means little reward. Now, another source says the invention happened in a monastery in southern France. In Germany, which Germany is a big pretzel place, right? It is kind of your center of the universe of pretzels. There's stories that pretzels were the invention of desperate bakers held hostage by local dignitaries. And isn't that a German kind of spin on it? German name Pretzel may derive from Latin bracellus, which is a term for bracelet, or brachiola, which means little arms. The pretzel is actually so popular that it's been in use as an emblem of bakers and their guilds in southern Germany since the 12th century. A 12th century illustration of the banquet of Queen Esther and King Ahasuerus, as I just showed you right there. You're seeing it from the Alsace region, that's France, may contain the earliest depiction of a pretzel. Now, within the Christian church, pretzels were regarded as having religious significance. That's right. For both the ingredients of the pretzel and the shape of the pretzel. Pretzels were made with a simple recipe using only flour and water, and could actually be eaten during Lent, when Christians were forbidden to eat eggs, lard, dairy products like milk and butter. Now, as time passed, pretzels became associated with both Lent and Easter. And get this, you know how we hunt for Easter eggs every Easter morning? Well, back in the day, pretzels were hidden on Easter morning. There you go. Imagine hunting around the backyard and looking for a pretzel. The holes in pretzels actually have a function. These holes allow them to be hung on poles suspended just below the kitchen ceiling. And the loops in pretzels may have served a practical purpose because bakers could hang them on sticks. And even street vendors that was walking around could have them on a big pole and just sort of reach out. You take one, off you go with your pretzel, happy, rejoicing, feeling good for the rest of the day. That's what you do when you have a pretzel. It's the reason for the pretzel, you know. Let's see here. We've got some other comments I'll get to real quick. Before I tell you about southern Germany and the pretzel, they know their pretzels. Say what you want about the Germans. Say no, sir, pretzels. They do. Tyler Schollenberger says, should do a Sam Kinison episode sometime. Hopefully I spelled his last name right. Actually, it's just one N, but I'm going to give you a pass, Tyler. Tyler has been around the Tom Gulley Show for quite some time, so he's wise to. I'm looking for a place to write Sam Kinison on this. Let me see here. No, I can do it right here. Sam Kinison. I got a lot of work to do on this show. I've got to try to reach out to Robert Klein. Tyler also says, Dot's pretzels are good. Snyder's of Hanover ones are pretty decent too. I've had their shards, but see, those are really hard, those pretzels. They're super hard. Dots are hard pretzels, but they just don't seem that hard. Hey, Jay Bizzle is here. Jay Bizzle, H2BH. There you go. Chef is in the house. I'm wondering if Chef knows his way around a pretzel. Jay Bizzle says, I like the pretzels stuffed with cheese. That's interesting, Jay Bizzle, and I'm going to get into some of the variants here in a minute. And yes, the stuffed with cheese ones are good. Goober says, stuffed? Well, that's one heck of a pretzel. It really is. Paused Up Patriot is here. Paused. It's been a while. Good to see you. Always good to see you, sir. Coach Mike Rodick is here. He says, hello to all my friends in chat. Oh, hey, Tom. Soft pretzels with nacho cheese is the best. Especially sometimes if the cheese is a little spicy. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Not a lot, just a little bit, you know? Just a little bit. That's all we're talking about. Just a little bit. I do like those. This actually I'm going to tell you about before I launch into southern Germany. This is a traditional meal. This is a meal in Germany. It's called Weisswurst. And it's served with, in that little tiny serving bowl, that would be sweet mustard, okay? And Weisswurst is, of course, the sausage there. It basically means white sausage. And there is the pretzels with it, and those are soft pretzels. Soft pretzels. And that's an actual meal, ladies and gentlemen. Pretzel baking has most firmly taken root in the region of Franconia and adjoining upper German-speaking areas. And pretzels have been like a very important part of German baking tradition for centuries. Lye pretzels are popular in southern Germany and in Austria and German-speaking Switzerland as actually a variety of bread as well as a side dish or snack. And they come in a dazzling array of varieties. Now, as I mentioned, lye is the treatment that they give it before they bake it. So you roll the dough, you make the dough, you shape the pretzel, and then you submerge it in a lye treatment. You can also use something called washing soda, but they don't use that there. Examples for pretzels in Upper German dialects are Bretze, Bretzen, Bretzel, Bretzel, Bretzgen, Bretzka, Bretzit. It's just anything with Bretz at the front of it, really is what it is. Baked for consumption on the same day. You don't eat these the day after. They're sold in every every bakery, and in special booths or stands in downtown areas. Often I've had this. They take like a soft pretzel, a big one, a thick one, and they slice them in half, and that's what they use for like sandwich bread. Okay? They slice them in half, they butter them. They're actually called butter Pretzel. And you put your cold meats and cheeses in there. Butter-filled pretzels are also commonly sold under this name. Sesame, poppy, sunflower, pumpkin, or caraway seeds can coat the outside, as well as melted cheese or bacon bits. Come on. What doesn't bacon make better? I ask you. I ask of thee. What doesn't bacon improve upon? Some bakeries offer pretzels made with different flours, like whole wheat, rye, or, well, you know what the flours are. I don't really have to tell you about that. You're aware of that just by being alive. Here is a pretzel that is coated with almonds, and this is a sweet pretzel. It actually has a sweet bread underneath it. So that's actually a dessert. What do you think about that? Yeah. In some parts of Bavaria, unglazed or white pretzels sprinkled with salt and caraway seeds are still popular. Basically, with the same ingredients, pretzels come in various varieties locally. Sizes are pretty similar. The main difference is the thickness of the dough, the content of fat, and the degree of baking. So those are three variants there that you want, do you want it thick? Do you want it thin? How much fat do you want in it? And do you want yours kind of lightly baked, or do you want it well done? By the way, they make the thicker pretzels for using for sandwiches. Oversized pretzels, giant ones, are often sold at fairs or beer festivals. The pretzel shape is used for a variety of sweet pastries like the one I'm showing you, made of different types of dough, which are either flaky or brittle or soft or crispy, and with all those toppings that I told you about. Around Christmas, they actually make pretzels out of soft gingerbread with a chocolate coating. Oh my God. That sounds delicious. In southern Germany and adjoining German-speaking areas, pretzels have retained their original religious meanings and are still used in various religious festivals and traditional ceremonies. In some areas, on January 1st, people give each other lightly sweetened yeast pretzels for good luck and good fortune. These New Year's pretzels are made in different sizes and can have a width of like 20 inches. Sometimes children visit their godparents to fetch their New Year's pretzel. On May the 1st, get this, gentlemen, take a note. On May 1st, love-struck boys used to paint a pretzel on the doors of the object of their affection. On the other hand, an upside-down pretzel would be a sign of disgrace. Especially in Catholic areas such as Austria, Bavaria, or some parts of Swabia, the palm pretzel is made for Palm Sunday celebrations. Sizes can range from, almost a foot to about 3 inches, and they can weigh up to 5.5 pounds. Now that's a pretzel. An old tradition on Palm Sunday, dating back to 1533, is the outdoor pretzel market, known as the Bretzenmarkt, in Hunnerbrungen Valley near Heldenfingen. Right. Now, this is something that Jay Bizzle kind of got me thinking about with one of his comments just a few minutes ago. In the Rhineland region, sweet pretzels are made with pudding-filled loops, and they're called pudding pretzels. There you go. In Luxembourg, the fourth Sunday of Lent features a festival called Pretzel Sunday. Boys give their girlfriends pretzels or cakes in pretzel form. The size symbolizes how much he likes her. Isn't that always the way? In return, if a girl wants to increase his attention, she will give him a decorated egg on Easter. The pretzel custom is reversed on Pretzel Sunday during leap years. So on leap year, if a girl likes you, you get a pretzel. Yeah. This custom also exists in some areas of the Alps. On the same occasion, in the Palatinate, people have parades carrying big pretzels mounted on colorful decorated poles. Yeah, there you go. There you go. There's this one big sort of celebration in Biberach where Lent pretzels are popular. They're briefly boiled in water before baking and then sprinkled with salt. And Schlossberg is renowned for a 200-year-old specialty, the burger pretzel. And its texture and flavor resemble a rusk. A rusk is a bread it's a very sweet bread, which is in a loaf and it's sliced. It looks like sandwich bread, except that it's almost like it's toasted. It's crispy and browned on the outside, okay? So the texture and flavor of this pretzel is crispy, soft on the inside, and sweet. And a local story says that the recipe came from a grateful Napoleonic soldier in 1795, whose wounds were treated by a baker's family in the little town of Berg. They've even got a monument in that town in honor of pretzel bakers, and an 18-kilometer hiking trail nearby called the Pretzel Hiking Trail. Is it not obvious that pretzels are a big deal in a lot of the world? Is it not? Am I not getting through to that? Let's get to some of your comments here. Friday night show, kids. We're having some fun now, huh? Like, share, subscribe, retweet, notification bell, especially the like, especially subscribe. Doesn't cost you anything. And super chats and memberships, which we're doing terrible at. Terrible. We're down like 50%. It's very demoralizing. It just hurts my feelings more than anything else. And then turn on your gifted memberships so you can see all of our members-only content, exclusive. We're doing one Sunday, and we are going to get so granular with the career of Ruta Lee, who will be our very special guest star Wednesday night. You won't want to miss that. Matter of fact, I would suggest that you set your alarm or your calendar, whatever you got, to be here for that. That's going to be, you're going to see a Tom Gulley like you've never seen him before, gushing and fawning like a fanboy. Anyway. Tyler Schollenberger says, I've had a pepperoni pizza pretzel before. It was different, but pretty good other than the fact it was kind of messy. Well, there we go. Chef said, I just shared with 40 of my friends, Chef, you are a gentleman and a scholar. And a chef. He's a real chef, ladies and gentlemen. You know why? Because around here we're classy. We're very, very classy. Julian Zezer says in Philadelphia, we had dozens of pretzel bakers. They're getting rarer. We eat it with mustard. Corner stores make pizza pretzels late in the day after the pretzels get stale. That's actually very wise. I'll tell you a little bit about Philly and some of the Pennsylvania pretzel industry here in just a few minutes, because Pennsylvania is probably the United States epicenter of the pretzel. Tyler says, Chef says, Tyler, I make those. I bet you do. He's got quite a background in pizza. Tim Jenkinson says, upside down ones are for the Satanists. I don't like hearing that. I mean, I'm sure it's true. It just makes me sad. Positive Patriot says, pretzels dipped in applesauce are delicious. Tim Jenkinson says they stopped selling Snyder's pretzels in the UK. I guess they have dangerous ingredients. Man, oh man. It's those tariffs. Everything is down. Oh, I'm sorry. I have nothing to do with that. I've had nothing to do with the tariffs. Bam! I'm telling you, Mountain Dew Zero, still delicious. 0 calories, 0 other bad things, except for there's got to be a chemical One of my greatest fears is that, like, in 2029, I'm going to go to my favorite news website, and the headline is going to read Mountain Dew Zero, the silent killer. Anyway. A typical variety for Upper Franconia is the anise pretzel. The town of Weidenberg celebrates the Pretzel Weeks. Yes, they have Pretzel Weeks there during the carnival season, when anise-flavored pretzels are served with special dishes like cooked meat with horseradish or roast. Man, horseradish is big in Germany. They put it on everything. They put it on everything. Anise is a little sort of a... it's like a parsley or something like that. It's a small plant, an herb, if you will. In the city of Lübeck, the 500-year-old Guild of Boatmen on the Stecknitz Canal called their annual meetings in January Kringelhoga, Pretzel Fun. It's an elaborate affair with about 200 participants and celebrated with breakfast, beer, includes a mass in the Lübeck Cathedral and a presentation of songs by a children's choir. Now, in earlier times, the children were very poor, coming from an orphanage, and each received a Kringel pretzel as a reward. There you go. There you go. Get this. The city of Osnabrück. I'm sorry. Ich spiele Deutsch. Osnabrück celebrates the anniversary of the peace. I can't talk today. I haven't had enough pretzels. Let me put another pretzel picture up. Maybe that'll steady the boat a little bit. The city of Osnabrück celebrates the anniversary of the Peace of Westphalia, which happened in 1648, and organizes, get this, an annual hobby horse race for children in 4th grade. And when they finish the race, they are presented with a sweet pretzel. There you go. There you go. I'm done with it. I could go on for 2 or 3 days just with the German pretzel traditions. I'm telling you. I am telling you. In the late 18th century, Southern German and Swiss German immigrants introduced the pretzel to North America. The immigrants became known as the Pennsylvania Dutch, and in time, many handmade pretzel bakeries populated the central Pennsylvania countryside, and the pretzel's popularity spread. In the 20th century, soft pretzels became popular in other regions of the United States. Cities like Philadelphia, Chicago, and New York became renowned for their soft pretzels. The key to success was the introduction of new mass production methods, industrialized, which increased the availability and quality, as well as the quantity, and opened up a multiple of points of distribution at schools, convenience and grocery stores, entertainment venues such as movie theaters, arenas, concert halls, sports stadiums. Let's not forget the mall. Who hasn't been to Hot Sam's? Come on. Hot Sam's in the mall? Prior to that, street vendors used to sell pretzels on street corners in wooden, glass-enclosed cases. Now, in the United States, pretzels come in many varieties of flavors and coatings like yogurt, chocolate, strawberry, mustard, cinnamon, sugar, cheese. Chocolate-covered hard pretzels are popular around Christmas time. Some people give them as gifts. The variety of shapes and sizes became a contest of imagination in the marketing of pretzels' taste. During the 1900s, people in Philadelphia would use the small, slender pretzel stick as a common accompaniment to ice cream, or would crumble pretzels as a topping. Pretzels crumbled as a topping can be really good on stuff, by the way. This combination of cold, sweet, and salty taste was very popular for many years. Eventually, this led to the development of an ice cream cone tasting like a pretzel. More recently, Mars Incorporated manufactures M&Ms with small spherical pretzel covered in milk, chocolate, and candy coated in all of the standard M&M colors called Pretzel M&Ms. Soft pretzels are frequently sold in shopping malls. Yes, with notable chains including Auntie Anne's, which I've seen, I think, and Wetzel's Pretzels or Pretzel Time. I got to say, Hot Sam was the big one when I was a kid. Hot Sam. Hot Sam's. Now, this is what I was talking about earlier, about the ability to hang or display pretzels due to that big hole they got in them. There we go. There we go. Got some more comments here. Doopa is here. She says, hello, Tom and chat. Julius Sturgis pretzels. I've never heard of those. Tyler Schollenberger says the orange cream Coke is back and available in 0 sugar now, too. I used to get that when I was in Utah. In Utah, they had all of the 0 flavors and a lot more variety of Coca-Cola flavors. They had the orange cream. They had the orange with cream soda. I mean, they had a lot of them. They were great. Gilman is here. How you doing, Gilman? Good to see you, buddy. People saying hi. We do have the most cheerful chat room on the internet, as verified by independent sources. Tim Jenkinson says horseradish could explain why Germany tried taking over the world. Yeah, it just riled them up. Is that what you think? Man, they put it on everything. And I don't like horseradish, but they put it on everything. Gilman says, I'm thirsty. Nothing better than an ice cold beer with a pretzel. I'll take your word. I've heard a lot of people say that. And certainly at Oktoberfest, you're going to see a lot of beer. You're going to see a lot of pretzel. Julian Zeter says, I forgot all about that. But yep, we used to eat ice cream with pretzel sticks. Positive Patriot says, do you like pretzels, Tom? Oh, yes. The Dots pretzels. I think I talk about it enough on the show. Saturday mornings, I am at the grocery store when it opens. That's when I do my weekly grocery shopping. You are listening to me now on a Friday night. By Friday night, I'm out of all the good stuff. And one of the things I like the best is Dots pretzels. And so I don't have any right now. I ate them this week. And I will get some tomorrow morning. And I'll be through half the bag by the end of the day, Saturday, probably. But yes, I really like pretzels. I really like soft pretzels. If I'm somewhere where there's a soft pretzel, it's likely I'll have one. I know they have them microwavable, or maybe you can make them in an oven now if you get them at the grocery, but it's just not the same. It's just not the same. But yes, I enjoy a pretzel. But the Dots pretzels, I can't eat any other pretzels now. I simply can't. They're addictive. When I eat Dots pretzels, hold on, I have to be on screen for this because it's an emotional appeal. When I eat Dots pretzels, I do what I call time travel. So say I rejoin to my palatial lair's bedroom to lie down and watch television with a bag of pretzels. I'll open it up. I'll start to eat them. And then at some point, I'll realize that half the bag is gone. And I haven't even mentally processed eating the pretzels. It's time travel. It's just, I have issues. Southeastern Pennsylvania, with its large population of German background, including the Pennsylvania, I don't know why I can't speak today. Part of the reason is I haven't spoken to anyone today since early this morning, because I work from home. Everybody takes off on Friday, and I'm just sitting here at the computer working happily. And so, yeah, it's probably because I haven't spoken. Anyway, southeastern Pennsylvania, with the Pennsylvania Dutch being there, is considered the birthplace of American pretzels. And many pretzel bakers are still located in the area. Pennsylvania, get ready, Julian Caesar. Pennsylvania produces 80% of the nation's pretzels. How about that? Hard pretzels originated in the United States, where in 1850, hey Dupa, shout out to you, the Sturgis Bakery in Litzitz, Pennsylvania, became the first commercial hard pretzel bakery. Snack food hard pretzels are made in the form of loops, braids, letters, little pretzels, sticks, about 1/8 of an inch thick, about 5 inches long, and they have become a popular snack in many countries around the world. Now, I'm going to tell you something I don't like. I do like a pretzel stick. I've always liked a pretzel stick. I'm well known for it. I'm on record. Well, you get the pretzel sticks that are one baked pretzel stick, top to bottom. They're an individual unit. But sometimes you'll get what I would consider lower quality, made with less love and care pretzel sticks that are like broken on both of the ends. Like there's a big, quarter of a mile long factory that they bake it in, and then these chopping blades come down and go kang and break the pretzels. I don't like that. I don't think it demonstrates mastery. And I don't want to get Joe McCarthy about this. I consider it un-American. I really do. Oh, by the way, like, share, subscribe, retweet, notification bell, all the things that are absolutely free to do while you watch this show. Totally free. We need those likes. We need those subscribes very desperately. We do have super chats. We do have memberships. They've apparently become poisonous in recent weeks because there's just no way. But you can do that if you want to. We actually have a merchandise shop. By the way, this weekend I'm going to the merchandise shop and I'm lowering all the prices. Cafe Press raised all the prices without my knowledge, and I'm going to lower them all. But and then please turn on your gifted membership. Somebody might give out a gifted membership, and it tells how in the crawl at the bottom of the screen. Unlike soft pretzels, these pretzels, the hard ones, are durable when kept in an airtight environment and marketable in a variety of convenience stores. Large-scale production began in the first half of the 1800s and more so from 1930 to 1950. A prime example was in 1949 when highly innovative American Machine and Foundry Company of New York City developed a pretzel bender. No, that's not when you drink too much while eating pretzels. It's an automatic, crispy-styled baked pretzel twisting machine that rolled and tied them at a rate of 50 a minute, which was more than twice as fast as skilled hand twisters could make them, and then conveyed them through the baking and salting process. Yeah. The annual United States pretzel industry is worth, get this, $1.2 billion. The average American consumes about, here, let me just do that for you real quick. Daggone it. That for you real quick. There you go. The average American, regular guys and gals like you and me, Joe Six-Pack, Johnny Punch Clock, Susie Housecoat, the everyday person, consumes about 1.5 pounds of pretzels per year. Let me tell you something. I am breaking the bell curve on that. There's no way I only eat 1.5 pounds of pretzels every year. Why? Because of Dot's Pretzels. That's why. The privately run Pretzel Museum opened in Philadelphia in 1993, but is now defunct. In 2003, Pennsylvania Governor Ed Rendell declared April 26th National Pretzel Day to acknowledge the importance of the pretzel to the state's history and economy. Philly Pretzel Factory stores offer a free pretzel to each customer on this day. In Altoona, Pennsylvania, the Benzels Pretzel Company calls them Pretzels, both for alliteration and a nod to their German heritage. The S-shaped soft pretzel, often served with brown mustard, became very popular in Philadelphia and was established as part of Philadelphia's cuisine for snacking at school, work, home, and considered by most to be a quick meal. The average Philadelphian today consumes about 12 times as many pretzels as the national average. I don't know what's wrong with my mouth today. It really is just terrible. And by the way, you can make pretzels in all sorts of crazy shape. This is a miniature salted pretzel shaped like the Christmas tree sold in England by Aldi's in 2019. And as there's your pretzel sticks. Notice those ones are cooked at the top. They're not what I call the Kang pretzel. Terry Nee, I just noticed what you wrote. I'm going to be laughing about that. We'll get to that in a second. Terry Nee. Terry Nee, you catch me leaning towards second base more than anybody. I'll tell you. I could go through the Pennsylvania milestones timelines. I'll go through a few of them. I'm just going to mention this one as an homage to Doopa-Doopa-Doo, and that is the Sturgill Pretzel House in Litzitz, Pennsylvania, became known as the first commercial hard pretzel bakery in the United States. The Anderson Pretzel Factory in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, was founded in 1889. Today, it calls itself the world's largest, producing 65 tons of hard pretzels every day. Yeah. In 1963, boy, that was a great year, wasn't it, Terry Nee? The largest soft pretzel of its time, weighing 40 pounds, measuring 5 feet across, was baked by Joseph Naccio of the Federal Pretzel Baking Company for the film It's a Mad, 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 Mad World. There you go. There you go. There you are. Freeport, Illinois, which is about 100 miles outside Chicago, is another city known for its rich pretzel history. And in 1869, a German immigrant named John Billerbeck established the first Billerbeck Bakery, which was known for selling German-style pretzels to complement the large number of breweries that existed in Freeport at the time. Prohibition eventually shut down the breweries, which led to the decline of pretzel sales in Freeport, but the city never lost its pretzel pride. For more than 100 years, Freeport has been known as Pretzel City, USA. Their high school athletic mascot is the pretzel, and the football stadium has been appropriately named Pretzel Field. In 2003, local citizens launched Freeport's first Pretzel Festival, which is a large community event where they get together and they go, yay, pretzels. Contestants are chosen to be crowned Pretzel Prince and Princess. And the festival mascot is a guy named Pretzel Bill. Dresses as a 6-foot-tall walking pretzel, hands out pretzels from floats, and takes selfies with the local festival goers. They make pretzels in other countries. I'm not going to get into them all. You know, the pretzel has become an element in popular culture, both as a food staple and its unique knotted twist shape, which has inspired ideas, perspectives, attitudes, memes, images, and other ephemera. The pretzel has recently been heavily influenced by mass media. Yeah, there's a pretzel park in Philadelphia, and the pathways at the park, they're in a pretzel-like loop. Yeah. There was actually a dance called the Pretzel Dance. It was part of swing dancing in the 1920s. There was a pretzel bikini bathing suit design, which is kind of a sling that emerged in the 1990s by spandex. It's a haltered maillot that crisscrosses in the front and fastens to the waistline. And they actually became quite popular. A circulating internet video shows a press conference of U.S. President George W. Bush from January of 2002, in which he recalls choking on a pretzel, and he said, "When you're eating pretzels, chew before you swallow. Listen to your mother." Yeah, you got to chew them things before you swallow. Listen to it. And that really is probably too much, but it is indeed all I have to tell you this evening about the pretzel. And before I tell you any more, I want to remind you once again, Wednesday night upcoming, we will have legendary, amazing, iconic star of stage and screen, actress Ruta Lee, and philanthropist will be with us on Wednesday night. I will be, pitter-pat goes my heart. I will also tell you that our members-only show on Sunday afternoon will feature me going into extremely deep detail about Ruta Lee. So if you don't have a membership, you might want to get one. Just for a month. Try it out. See how it works for you. People look at you differently on the street. They're likely to clap you on the back and say, "Hey, hep cat, you're all right by me. I like the cut of your jib." That's what I've heard. That's just what I've heard. Let's get to your comments. I'm sorry. Let's see. The show. Oh, I better put some pretzels on here. Get Miss Lee off the stage. Chef says, so if I cook dinner for you, soup is out and pretzels are in. Pretty much, Chef. Well, man, I'd like something better if I'm going to have a fine chef like yourself make me something. I don't want pretzels. They're a fine snack after, but I want something a little more, Pauses laughing. That's very funny. People laughing. People saying hi. Anabaptist. I don't know what that means. It's okay. Is this how it's pronounced? Lidditz, not Litzitz. Okay, Lidditz. Gotcha. I've got it. People saying hi. And then Terry Nee. Kudos to Terry Nee and extra bonus points for all peoples who know what these thirstles are making me, these thirstles. What am I saying tonight? I swear, Friday night shows, man. These pretzels are making me thirsty. These pretzels are making me thirsty. These pretzels are making... God, that's so funny. That's so funny. Geez, try saying that 10 times fast. These pretzels are making me thirsty. These pretzels are making me thirsty. These pretzels are making me... I can do it now. But it's the interp, I think, that was the funny part of that bit. Julian Caesar says, I used to see the hand twisters at work, and it's fun to watch. I'd go to the bakery at 5:30 and grab a bag after a run, then come home and eat them with a pot of coffee. I might mention that at certain restaurants and even mall outlets that make the soft pretzels, certain people that make the soft pretzels still do twist them by hand. They don't, unless they're mass producing, and usually the mass produced are for the hard pretzels. The soft pretzels, a lot of times, are still done by hand. Goat says, I'm more of a honey mustard pretzel guy. A lot of people like honey mustard. Chef says, I'm sorry, buddy. I've got to say goodnight to Gracie. Storm is coming in. Oh, man, I am so sorry. Another night of storms in central Indiana. You take care. I know a lot of people got hit really hard the night before last. I don't know if it was as bad last night, but I'll check that out. I go to the grocery store on Saturday morning, and I get my groceries really fast because I'm the first one there. Nobody in there. I drive home. I put the groceries away. I have an hour-long talk with my dad on the phone, and I'll find out about the storms then. Lidditz. Okay, hopefully I'm pronouncing that properly now that the entire pretzel segment of the show is over. I hope I'm doing that right now that I'll never have to pronounce it again. Gilman says, salt might be the unsung hero of a perfect pretzel. It just might be. The Himalayan salt's pretty good. Please like, please share, please subscribe. Sorry, I'm waiting for the phone lines to load. Do all those things that really help us. Man, they help us so much when you like. They help us so much when you share them to your social media networks because you're popular and you're smart and people respect you. And if you recommend something, it's that word of mouth advertising that's the hardest to get and the most effective. So if you could do that, that would be just so awesome. And the subscriptions, oh, they help like crazy too. Even if you're never going to watch this show again, just go ahead and subscribe. Who cares? And also the super chats and the memberships really help. Also, if you turn on those gifted memberships, some incredibly smart, handsome, funny, witty, well-read, scholarly, personal hygiene beyond reproach person might just gift you. Why, looky there. Just what, speak of the devil. Terry Nee has gifted one Tom Gulley Show membership. And I don't know who got it. You guys can tell me. But that is a lucky, lucky, lucky person is what that is. Thank you so much, Terry. I do appreciate that. I always appreciate your support. Always appreciate your support. And Terry is now, again, telling me, Lidditz. Lidditz. See? I'm dumb, but I'm not stupid. It just sometimes takes a while. Sometimes it takes a while. It's a Friday show, folks. What did you expect? What do you want for nothing? Rub a biscuit? Bow wow. Ooh. Anyway. Sunday, did I mention? Ruta Lee. I'm going to be talking about Ruta Lee on the Sunday Members Only show in great detail. Because we only have about 45 minutes with her, maybe slightly less, and I can't cover everything in 45 minutes. I just can't. Oh, by the way, how many people watched Angels Travel on Lonely Roads last night? How many people watched that? How many? This many, at least. I actually watched both parts last night. And I put the links in the chat yesterday. Just go to YouTube. Do I have to should I do it again? By the way, phone lines are open at 972-994-6822. Use them while you can. They won't be here in May. Let me see here. How do I want to skin this rabbit? Let me see. Let's just do it like this. Bow wow. Come on. Okay, here we go. I watched it again last night, and guess what? Every bit as good as I'd always remembered it. Whoops. Bam. Boom. Shakalaka. I'm going to get you this part. I'm going to do it again. This is just I'm going to talk to Miss Ruta Lee about this. The writing and the acting of television shows during the classic era. I'm sorry, this isn't me being an old guy, because I watch all the new shows, and some of them are outstanding, don't get me wrong. But the writing and acting of the classic television shows is just light years beyond. Here's a modern day television show in you're watching it, even a good one. Here's one of the characters on the show speaking. Plot, 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 plot. They got so much more out of the shows back then through acting, through a glance, through an interaction, through the characters doing exposition about themselves that wasn't just a guy going, "He used to be with the SWAT team. He's bad at..." Come on. Come on. Okay. Angels Travel. Whoops. On Lonely Roads, Part 1. Bam. I'm doing this for you. You're going to thank me. Each episode is 51 minutes. So it's about the length of a movie. It's a two-parter. It's got an Academy Award winner in it, in Eileen Heckert, okay? And it's got, before she won an Academy Award, now she had been nominated before this happened, but she won one later on. And it's got Albert Salmi as the bad guy. He was always the bad guy, pretty much always. Sometimes they'd go against type, but not very often. And he was always the bad guy. And he's in it. He's incredible. There's a number of other standard, episodic TV actors in this. It's just a great, great episode. I'm not going to spoil it for you, but trust me when I say, very early on, you will be captivated by David Jansen as the fugitive and who he's paired up with and the things that happen along the way. Now, don't get too crazy. This lovely woman right here, this incredible, what am I doing? This lady right here, she doesn't appear until the second part. And she darn near steals the show. She's just amazing, amazing. And so if you're looking for something to watch, bookmark those two things I just gave you. Unless you have access to the Fugitive. I think it's season 3, if I'm not mistaken. See, now I'm going to have to check. Angels Travel Lonely Roads, IMDb. Okay, so I'll check that out for you. Angels Travel on Lonely Roads. Me and Ed Robertson talked about this. That would be, no, sorry, that's season 1, episode 22. Maybe I'm thinking about the fact that I had, you can't, the platform I was on, you could only start at season 3. That's what I'm thinking. So it was not, see, they did 32 episodes back then, I think. So it was well into the first season of The Fugitive. And it is amazing. It is so good. You will thank me. You will thank me. You really will. I'm not joking. Let me take Ruta Lee down here. I'm sure she doesn't want to be on a screen with me that long. Wednesday night, folks, please set your calendar on your phone, whatever you need to do. Wake the kids, phone the neighbors. It's going to be a hootenanny. Oh, I got to do the thing where I switch the banner. Terry Nee, thank you so much for your kind donation of a membership. I think that's probably all we're going to get, so I'll just put the phone line banner up. Ladies, I don't know what any of next week's shows are going to be except Wednesday night, so I have no idea. But Sam Kinison, not a bad suggestion. Not a bad suggestion. I'm doing the kind of a stand-up comedy thing here recently, one night a week. And I think I've got, do I have Rickles on here? Man, I've got to, that's another thing I've got to do this weekend is I've got to go through and take all these and put them in a more logical, but also I've got to write that note to Robert Klein. And in the note, I will tell Robert Klein, this show is sporadic at best in viewership. Not that many people, you'd be doing me the favor of a lifetime. I don't expect you to do me the favor of a lifetime. But even if you just responding to this email will be enough. Even to tell me to go take a hike, that will be enough. Any response at all, the blink of an eye, a hand gesture, positive or negative. Let me see what we got here. Oh, this is just me being just me being a great guy. That's what that is. Hot plot. Wednesday is going to be a humdinger. My favorite example of somebody saying humdinger is in Bull Durham when Timothy, guy that was married to Susan Sarandon, Timothy, can't think of his last name right now because I've got Ruta Lee on the brain. Yeah, I'm blaming Ruta Lee for my shortcomings as a human being. He throws a pitch and he goes, "Ooh, that was a humdinger." And it will be a humdinger. Dupa, I especially hope that you will watch Angels Travel on Lonely Roads, because I think you'll like it. Also, I would say that I would like you folks right now, this very minute, to tell me what time on Sunday you would like me to do that members only show, because I have no preference. So I usually try to do it about 2 o'clock my time, which means 3 o'clock Eastern. So you tell me what time you want me to do it, and I'll, get cleaned up and act like I got some sense and do a show. So that's what's going on here. So, you know what? This is my sickness. I might just watch Angels Travel on Lonely Roads again tonight. Although I might try to find some other Ruta Lee fare. Yes. Ruta Lee. Let me just tell you a little bit here, just real quick. Let me just wet your palate, so to speak. Ruta Lee was in 7 Brides for 7 Brothers. These are just movies. 7 Brides for 7 Brothers. She was in Funny Face, which is a romantic comedy type deal with Audrey Hepburn. She was in Witness for the Prosecution with Tyrone Power and Marlena Dietrich and Charles Lawton and Elsa Lanchester. And it's a dramatic movie. She was in Marjorie Morningstar, which was like a coming of age story about a girl in New York City. She was in Sergeants 3. Yeah. Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, Sammy Davis Jr., Peter Lawford, Joey Bishop. Are you kidding me? So she hung out with the Rat Pack. And from what I'm looking at here, she is the top billed lady in that film. So what do you think about that? What do you think about that? As a matter of fact, part of the whole plot is one of them is going to marry her at the end of his tour of duty with the Army. So she's kind of the center of the whole thing, in my opinion. I would think that anyway. She was in a movie called Doomsday Machine, which, that movie has the weirdest story. I might ask her about that, because it was a film that was shot in 1967, but it got postponed and they didn't have access to all of the cast members or the sets. And so it's kind of a cult film because of the unfinished nature of it. I'm sure that's no fault of Ruta Lee. So anyway, she was in quite a few, very popular films of note. She was in The Adventures of Superman. She was on Burns and Allen. She was on Alfred Hitchcock Presents more than once. She was on Dragnet. She was on Highway Patrol. She was on Maverick 3 times. She was on Playhouse 90, which was a dramatic presentation on CBS. She was on Man with a Camera, which was a television show that featured a young Charles Bronson as the star. She was in December Bride, which was adapted from a radio series. She was in a lot of Westerns. She was on Sugarfoot twice, which is kind of a big show. Sugarfoot would rotate with Cheyenne and Bronco. So there were 3 that kind of rotated, Westerns being so popular at the time. She was on a show called M Squad which is probably most famous for starring Lee Marvin. He also appeared in the commercials for the show. She was on Gunsmoke twice, 77 Sunset Strip 5 times, thank you very much. Perry Mason 5 times, thank you very much. She was on a show called The Restless Gun. And The Restless Gun, I always thought was a much better Western than it got credit for. You can see it on some of the older television, network channels and on Grit and some of the Western channels. But Vint Bonner, played by John Payne, was a really, really well done series. She was on Peter Gunn, which was a private eye series. She was on The Millionaire. Do you guys remember The Millionaire? That was a show where every week James Beresford Tipton, a mysterious millionaire, would get with his Michael Anthony, his kind of his executor, and direct him to award $1 million to some deserving person who could not reveal that they got the money nor its source, with the exception of a spouse in the event that they marry. She was on Richard Diamond Private Eye, which is famous for 2 things. Number one, it was an amazing radio series starring Dick Powell. I love Richard Diamond Private Eye on the radio. And then on television, it was Mary Tyler Moore's legs were shown on it. He would be speaking to this girl that you'd never see her face. But she was on Richard Diamond. She was on Bat Masterson. She was on Johnny Staccato, which was a show that didn't air very long, but it's very famous for starring John Cassavetes. And a lot of us like Johnny Staccato. She was on Tightrope, which was a drama series. She was on this kind of an interesting show called Whirlybirds, which Whirlybirds was a show that kind of featured this helicopter chartering company called Whirlybirds, and they're in the western part of the United States. And so it was produced, by the way, by Desilu Studios, which Desi Arnaz and Lucille Ball were a part of. That they also produced I Love Lucy, The Untouchables, and of course Star Trek. Anyway, the show was just kind of an adventure drama show that that had helicopters on it. People like helicopters. Who doesn't like a helicopter? She was on U.S. Marshal 4 times, big Western. Colt 45, relatively popular Western. Wagon Train, hugely popular. I think we all remember Wagon Train, right? She was on The Rebel, which starred Nick Adams. She was on Hawaiian Eye, which was a cousin to 77 Sunset Strip, and she was on that 3 times. What do you think about that? It was on Zane Grey Theater, Stagecoach West. One of my favorite Western shows of all time was Laramie. Oh, was that a great show. Man, that was a good show. She was on Gunsmoke, Cheyenne, and she was on Rawhide twice. And that is, I'm assuming, where she worked with Clint Eastwood. She was on the Andy Griffith Show twice. She was on Bonanza. She was on The Travels of Jamie McPheeters, which was Kurt Russell as a child. He was Jamie McPheeters and got in all sorts of hijinks. She, of course, was on The Fugitive. Angels Travel on Lonely Roads. Man, if you're not watching that this weekend, I'm not mad at you. I'm disappointed. She was on The Virginian twice, Burke Slaw 3 times, Gomer Pyle, The Wild Wild West, not once but twice. She was on Judd for the Defense. I've got an old promo for Judd for the Defense. The best defense the law will allow. She's on a really good episode of Mannix. Gosh, is she gorgeous in that episode. Hogan's Heroes 3 times. Ironside, The Flying Nun, twice. Marcus Welby, MD, Love American Style, 3 times. Mayberry RFD, The Mod Squad, Match Game, High Rollers. He was a co-hostess on High Rollers. Mork and Mindy, hello. Three's Company, twice. Vegas, good old Dan Tana. Fantasy Island, 3 times. Simon and Simon, Chips, Hotel, First and 10 on HBO, 4 times. The Love Boat, Benson. It just never stops. It never stops. It never stops. Who am I imitating? Never mind. Murder, She Wrote, Roseanne, twice. Saved by the Bell. Come on, people. Days of Our Life. Come on, people. Be here Wednesday night for Ruta Lee. Come on. Come on. You gotta be here. And you gotta watch Angels Travel on Lonely Roads. Do that tonight. You're not doing anything else. You're watching this. Your standards aren't that high. Anyway. Gilman says, I got to ask, who do you have in an NCAA championship game and who will win? Well, Gilman, I used to be legendary for my ability to predict the brackets. They are all one and done. It's a portal. I can't keep track. I have way too much soccer to keep track of. Man, let me just see here. Basketball. I'm assuming they're in the Final Four. Okay, Florida and Auburn. Wow, all number 1 seeds. All number 1 seeds. Florida, Auburn, Houston, and Duke. I don't like any of those teams. The only reason I would pick Houston is 1, it's here in Texas. 2, Houston used to actually be coached by a graduate of Ball State University. My friend at Ball State, Ray McCallum. Good old Ray. And 3, they're the ones that beat Purdue from my home state of Indiana. So I'm going to pick Houston, but I don't know that they're the one to pick or anything. Dupe is asking Gilman, who do you have? Nick is here. Hello, Nick. Forgive me if you mentioned this already, but Sturgis Pretzels are in Central PA with a stop if you find yourself out there. Roots back to the 1700s, Pennsylvania Dutch. Nick, you would be correct when you say that we did mention that. We did talk about it, and actually Dupa brought it up as well, I believe. I think she did. Gilman says Florida versus Houston, go Cougars. Tim Jenkins says the Flying Nun, was she possessed? I don't know. Tim Jenkinson says Arsenal versus the mighty Everton this weekend. I'm very worried about that match. Now, I'm not worried about anything really as it concerns Arsenal. Their Champions League position is, I think, locked up. They can't catch Liverpool. That's just ridiculous to think that. So they're where they're at. This is probably heresy for an Arsenal fan to say this. I wouldn't mind if Forrest caught them and finished second, because I think it would be such a great thing for Forrest. And I was such a fan of Peter Shilton and that squad that won the European Championship twice in a row back for Brian Clough back in the day. Man, Shilton was a beast on that team. He was a beast. So, but I'll say this about that. I have never liked it when Arsenal go to Goodison Park. I never have. That is not an easy place to play. Big fan of David Moyes, by the way. So, Gilman says, Phi Slamma Jamma. The Wolf is here. The Wolf's aware that Ray McCallum coached the University of Houston at one time. Good old Ray, downtown Ray. Quite a player, not a big dude. I'm way bigger than Ray McCallum. Way bigger. Ray McCallum is an Indiana basketball legend. Muncie Central. But that's about all I got, kids. If anybody wants to tell me what time they would like that members-only show to stream, I'm willing to do it at that time. Otherwise, it'll be 3 o'clock Eastern time, which is 2 o'clock Central, 1 o'clock Mountain Time, and noon in your Pacific time zone. Yes, and Samson, well, that's Samson, not Samp, coached at IU. Samson. Are you talking about the guy that got all the recruiting violations? By the way, IU's new coach, who is he? Who knows? Why won't they hire Steve Alford? I don't even know necessarily that he would make the best coach. I think he's a good coach. I don't necessarily think at this point he's a great coach. I think he's gotten a lot out of some bad teams or some teams that didn't have as much talent as others. It'd be interesting to me to see what he would do in Indiana, being able to recruit in Indiana, at Indiana. But they keep passing him over. Something's going on there. And I've heard it's because Quinn Buckner doesn't want him to come back there because he doesn't want all the thunder stolen or something to do with Coach Knight, like he's closer. Or it's a weird thing that's going on there. But for them not to have hired Steve Alford by now, just from the boosters alone, the whole state is just craving that. And yeah, that guy that got him in all the NCAA trouble. Man, Knight's there for what, 30 years? Not one NCAA violation. You get these guys in that just... Kelvin Sampson. Huge, yeah, but it's not Sampson, I don't think. Oh, it is Sampson. I stand corrected. I thought it was Samson without the P. That shows you how much I paid attention to him and Tom, whatever his name is, that followed him up. I just quit paying attention. At a certain point, it's like, if you're just going to keep passing over Steve Alford, UCLA hired him, for crying out loud. You know, come on. Not at IU. Tisk tisk. Yeah, they've almost driven me away from that program totally. I'm almost, well, I think everybody knows how tight me and Gene Katie are. We're like this. There's podcasts and everything else about it. I'm almost to just go to the Purdue side because Coach Knight's gone. And I think you all know how tight I was with Coach Knight, don't you? And, yeah, they have just... I thought Mike Woodson was a terrible hire. I thought, why are you doing that? Steve Alford has proven he wants to coach college basketball. He's been doing it, and no offense to Mike Woodson as far as his playing career at IU, but Steve Alford, are you kidding me? At IU, are you kidding me? That's just not... And, of course, Ball State, we've got the big IU assist leader coaching our team. Boy, isn't he doing a great job. Did you hear him complaining? Well, if we had the support the women's team had, we'd be going to the NCAA. Okay, buddy, suck it up, Buttercup. You might think that. You might say that in a closed room, but you do not say that to the press. Yeah, Steve Alford is still coaching the Wolfpack of Nevada. But you know what? I think it's getting very difficult. What was Steve Alford? Steve Alford's lifetime free throw percentage at IU was 90%. 90%. Yeah, 90%. Let's look at his coaching career because, well, let's just see what he did at Nevada this year. He didn't have a great year at Nevada this year. There's 16 and 14, 8 and 11 in conference, 7th in the conference. But I think I wouldn't want to be a college basketball coach with a portal. I kind of get the portal in football, but man, oh man, oh man. It's just like starting over with a brand new team every year, every single year. At Nevada, he was 2nd, 5th, 8th, 4th, 2nd. So, I think he's doing what he can. He's made the NCAAs the 2 out of the last 3 years. But, yeah. One of his kids is now head coach at Huntington University. When he was at New Mexico, NIT twice, NCAA, NIT, and NCAA. So he was in postseason play every single year he was there. Iowa, he was every single season but 2. And we all know what he did at Manchester. So he's just, I think you give him a shot. Come on. I think you give him a shot. Let me see. I lost track of the kid I watched, and I saw a score of 50 on Muncie Central. Darn Key. I saw him drop 50 on Muncie Central, yeah. But even in, let me get back to that thing there. Even in college, he was bad news. Of course, you couldn't foul him. You just couldn't foul him. He just guaranteed to make both shots. It's insane. You could not foul him. Where was his 3-point? Okay, so his last year at Indiana was the first year for 3-pointers in the NCAA, 86-87. His 3-point percentage from 3, 53%. 53%. Do you want me to repeat that? 53%. Now, his field goal percentage, his regular everyday field goal percentage, also 53% from the field. That's like an inside player's, not an outside shooter's percentage. So Steve Alford was just, man, he was good. Man, he was good. So I just don't get it. I don't get it. If I was an Indiana fan, it's too slow for the league. I don't think he was too slow for what he was there to do, but I don't think they needed players like him to do that at the time. But I think he was too short for the league, But and he probably didn't have as great a passing skill as he needed to. But as far as a spot-up shooter, But it's a whole different thing. He's got a gold medal. It's a whole different thing in the NBA. So, yeah, he was both. But I think they got some pretty slow dudes out there now that can drain it from 3. But yeah, he's just not an NBA caliber player from a bunch of different. In passing, wasn't that great. So, he'd have to have been on a very specific team. And those are the teams that could get faster guys that could pass. He's like a dime store Steve Kerr. Kerr was just, guttier and better D and quicker. And so, whatever. But in college, ooh, mama. Anyway, all right. Members only show Sunday. I'm going to go ahead and say 3 o'clock Eastern since nobody seems to have a preference. Scroll up. Angels Travel on Lonely Roads, parts 1 and 2. Look them up on YouTube or just scroll up in the comments here. I have taken the liberty of posting the links to these for you as a courtesy, as a service to you, the home viewer. The Wolf says, I'm unhappy with Indiana basketball. Purdue out in the Sweet 16. I'm not happy about that either, Wolf. I will say this. Purdue's starters all started at Purdue. You know, they didn't go portal. The only thing I will say about that is this. That takes a little of the sting out. Not all of it, not nearly enough of it. They lost to a number 1 seed that's now in the Final Four, and they lost by 2 points on a last-second basket. So, yeah, I'm not happy about it, but considering how, Indiana teams have been doing in the NCAA lately, but Ball State, man, it's almost time to get rid of that guy. Wolf says she got punched by Matt Haas of a man, Dylan. Who did? Ruta Lee? She got punched by Matt Dillon. Matt Dillon punched a woman? Eesh. Wednesday night, ladies and gentlemen. Ruta Lee will be here. You should be. I'm going to be gushing and fawning like a little schoolboy. So anyway, well, I'm looking at that old clock on the wall. And like the Reverend Al Green, I'm going to have to get on up out of here. Oh, man, I didn't even raise up my... I don't know why my phone software drops me down 7% every time I open it. Almost not worth opening it since nobody calls. Yeah. Let's see. Yes. Soft with Cheese Whiz, extra salt. I hope you're talking about pretzels. Hey, Uncle Fatty, how you doing, man? All right, that's going to do it for tonight. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. And with all that being said, hey, did I mention Wednesday night, Ruta Lee will be here? Starve Staging, never mind. I think I might have mentioned it. You should be here for that too. That's going to be a humdinger. So, let's see here. The Wolf says, are you from Big Patty's Flaming Foods? No, I am not. Big Fatty's Flaming Food. Uncle Fatty says, huh? And then chicks, man. Chicks. You got that right. I don't know what next week's shows are going to be about. I think I might be doing one on Sam Kinison. Oh, wait. I got Rickles, I got Dangerfield, I've got Kinnison, I've got Robert Klein. I am going to do a show on soybeans next week. Why do I want to do soybeans for? Nobody cares about soybeans. So I got soybeans, I got Sam was a comic. I got Ruta Lee. What else do I got on this list? If I showed you all the lists that I've got, all of the lists that I have of things to talk about on this show that I haven't gotten to yet, that maybe I will get to. Have I done Tupperware yet? I got some things here. I'll figure that out this weekend. But Ruta Lee will be here Wednesday night. And I need you to tell all your friends, wake the kids, phone the neighbors. I need a big audience that night. I really did. You want Rodney? The wolf wants Rodney. We're going to have Rodney. Where's that pen I keep around here? Oh, here it is. Okay. We're doing Rodney Dangerfield. For the wolf, we'll do Rodney. Rodney Dangerfield. That's what we will do. Rodney Danger. Maybe we'll do that Tuesday night right before Ruta Lee. I don't know. Rodney Dangerfield. Fatty's Pizza. Say it. Say it. I just did, man. Tommy Tupperware gets no respect. I don't know. These words you're typing, I don't know what they mean. The Wolf says, Big Fatty's Flaming Foods, Mistress Carlita's Spanking Rub. I know, you've told me about that. Isn't that down here in Texas, maybe, somewhere? It's all over the place. They're hard to find. They got a site, and then it's somewhere else, and they're very difficult to find. Man, these Friday night shows, I'm telling you what. If this show was doing enough numbers, I'd be like Carson, and I just wouldn't do Friday night. Yeah. But I got a membership tonight. Thank you, Terry Nee. That's worth it right there. I got a big week. I got to figure out what I'm going to wear for the Ruta Lee program. I was hoping SG Fanboy would happen in here so I could beg him to Photoshop me into a specific photo with Ruta Lee. I couldn't do that. Dang, that rub would go well in some... Oh, you guys. You got to make it dirty, don't you? You just got to make it dirty. I'm not going to let you make it dirty. Clear view or clear water? Again, Wolf says, Uncle, that rub is great, everything. Okay. I suppose you're talking about Texas. I don't know. I looked the place up, and there was 5 different websites. They were all in different places, different times, different, one of them made it seem like they were catering. One of them was like, we don't have a store. You can just order mail order. Another one said we have a restaurant. It was all over the place. Oh, Clearview, Texas, Clearwater, Texas. Never heard of either one of those, but that doesn't mean they don't exist because it is, after all, Texas. Sam Kinnison, ooh, say it. Oh, yeah, say it. Say it. Yeah, I got you. I got you now. I got you. Yeah, from the movie with Dangerfield. Right. I got it now. I got it. Now I got it. It was the Fatty's Pizza and then the say it, because, just say it by itself doesn't mean, Uncle Fatty says, can it be, oh, God, you guys with your, hey, look, I used to do that stuff like that too, and then I turned 12. Sometimes I gotta amuse myself. There's nothing else going on. All right. Hey, with all that being said, by the way, thank you for all of you that have mentioned how awesome my show opening and closing is. Hey, wait a second, Uncle Fatty. You're gonna love this. You're gonna love this. This is worth the price of admission right here. Members only show, 3 o'clock Eastern, noon Pacific. We're going to go deeply into the career of Ruta Lee, so you will be well informed when she appears with us Wednesday night, and I turn into a gushing little schoolboy. Steal that. And you're welcome to it. I don't think I'm the originator. So, hey, you know what? The only thing left to say is, whoa, look out here. Look out. Late one just for the rub, $2. Thank you so much, Wolf. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate that. Nice. I'm not going to give you the point for that, Wolf. I'm going to give you the Ruta Lee, the full Ruta Lee. There you go. Even though I guess Matt Dillon hit her. I'm surprised that Matt Dillon would hit a woman But okay, here's the amazing show. Well, it's the opening and the closing. So with all the things we've said being said, the only thing left to say is, till next time, we'll see you next time.
1, 2, 3, 4. They call me Mr. Gulley. I've got something for your ear. Now it might sound kind of funny, but I'll make it very clear. So what we talking about? We're talking about spiders, and we're talking about pervitin', and we're talking about Bigfoot. I'm here to tell you where he's been. They call me Mr. Gulley. I'm here to save the day. They call me Mr. Gulley, and I'm gonna lead the way. They call me Mr. Gulley. I'm here to save the day. They call me Mr. Gulley, and I'm gonna lead the way. Here we go now. I'm talking about Mr. Gulley, and you don't know where he's been. Oh no, he's been right in your alley. Well, I'm Mr. Gulley, yes I am. So what we talking about? We're talking